find f. We've got f double prime equals 3 over square root of t, and we've got a couple of values. F of 4 equals 20, and f prime of 4 equals 7. So in order to figure that out, we're going to go backwards one time first and find the first derivative, because we have second derivative here, so doing an antiderivative we'll be able to do that, and then we can do an antiderivative again to get back to the function. Well, let's first of all think of this as t to the negative 1/2. It's another way to express a radical as a rational exponent, and then to move it up we would put that negative on there. And the reason we'd want to do that is because to do an antiderivative we need to think of the power rule in reverse. So one higher power here would have been a 1/2. Then the 1/2 would have come out in front, so we're going to need a 2 out there to cancel with that, and there already was a 3 out there, so we're going to need a 6. You can see that would work. The power would come out in front, and we'd have 6/2 or 3t, and then decrease the power by 1 to the negative 1/2. But plus a constant, we'll use a c sub 1 because there's going to be a couple of constants in this problem. Now they did give us an initial value, or gave us a value for the derivative, so we could take that at this point and put it in for t, and this would be 6. We know that the 1/2 power means square root, so putting a 4 in here plus c1 needs to equal 7. So it looks like that's going to be square rooting the 4, we'd get 2, so we're going to have 12 plus c1 equals 7, and c1 then would be negative 5. So we could take that and put that in right here. This is negative 5. Now we're ready to work on finding f of t, which would be the antiderivative of this function. I'm going to rewrite it so I can see clearly what I have. 6t to the 1/2 minus 5. Now this is what I'm interested in antidifferentiating. So I first of all look at that t to the 1/2 and say, well, I need one higher power. One higher power would be 3/2, and I'm going to leave that 6 out in front, and then I need the reciprocal of the power. So let's do it like that so we can see what we would need. That way when the power comes out in front, the 2/3 and the 3/2 cancel and leaves me the 6t, and then when I decrease the power by 1 I'll get t to the 1/2. Now as far as the negative 5, that would need to be negative 5t, and then we could have a constant on the end. So let's see what we've got here. We have f of t equals 3 will go into 6 2 times, so that looks like that's going to be 4t to the 3/2 minus 5t plus some constant t sub 2. Let's go ahead then and use our other condition. We have f of 4 equals 20, so let's take this and put in the 4, and I'm going to go ahead and rewrite that in radical form while I do that so that I'll be able to think about evaluating it. And then plus c2, and that needs to equal 20. So let's see what we can do to simplify this. We can do the root and then the power, so that's going to be square root of 4 is 2 to the 3rd is 8, times 4 is 32, still have minus 20, plus c sub 2 equals 20. So it looks like c sub 2 equals, when I combine these I get 12, subtracting it from the other side I get 8. So our function is going to be 4t to the 3/2 minus 5t plus 8.